Good morning. Morning day 6. Yeah, morning of day 6, leg 2. There's Peoria. That's the city dock. It's not maintained. I guess it goes all the way down there. I didn't know that. The charts just show that as a city dock, but that entire strip there is unmaintained, abandoned. I guess you can get in there. That's a 48-foot boat. That's a Swedish boat. I didn't want to go in there. He made it in there. Use your judgment. You cannot tie up on the outside, to give you a heads up. So if you're going to do the loop, do not plan on tying up on the outside. They got brackets sticking out. You got to go on the inside. I went under the bridge. It's like 13 foot of water under the bridge. You're good. There's Peoria. Well, day 6. See how it goes. No bugs last night. Maybe 2 or 3 mayflies up on the roof. That was about it. There's a lock right here coming up, maybe 3 miles away. I just notified them on the radio we're all going to meet up there at the lock, go through it one time. 2 other boats already went past, and that little flotilla. And that's that. I'll see you around. One thing I forgot to tell you. I'm going to disengage this. I'm going to try and get it on video, but it happens quick and fast. The Asian carp, aka silverfish, they spook easy and they jump out of the water. If you work on the river, you know that. They kill people. They hit them. They're huge. They get gigantic and they hit people, knock them off the boat. They stop their heart, hit them in the chest, all kinds of stuff. So twice yesterday, I spooked them. They jumped out of the water. One got caught in the handrail. He fell over the side before I got him. The other one smacked my kayak and fell in the water. Well, I jumped in the dink last night, no camera in hand, took off like a bat out of hell to go park my dink next to the Swedish boat because it's a rough neighborhood. I didn't want my dink to walk off, and so it's quite a ways. And I take off and I got fish. I'm getting wet because they're jumping in front of me. I'm going underneath them and they're falling in the water behind me and just getting me all wet. And then I forgot all about it going back. When I went back to the boat after dinner, same thing. Fish just jumping everywhere. So I'm going to try and catch that on video for the people that aren't aware of how they react to or how easy they spook. You can see YouTube videos of those poor fish. Guys will get on the front of the boat and spook them. Even with strobe lights underwater, and take baseball bats and hit them in the air. It's kind of sad, but those poor fish got a bad rap. They're amazing fish, but I think thanks to social media, they got a bad rap. Let's start a movement. Save Asian carp. Yeah, save Asian carp. I think they actually, heads up, I think they actually changed the name to silverfish because Asian carp had a bad rap. Give you a heads up. All right, so I think we're at pool water. I can't tell. I just contacted the railroad bridge here and they said their gauge hasn't worked in years. So it's a lift bridge, but I'm going to try and go underneath it. He doesn't know what his clearance is. It's going to be tight here. We'll see how this works out. I'll keep you on. I'm going to approach it kind of slow. I should clear it by 3 feet. Maybe. Our gauge hasn't worked in years. I think we're at pool. I think we're good. Yeah. We're going to clear it by a few feet. Or knock the radar off. I'm glad it's not raining every day. I got to constantly monitor the river gauges. All right. That was it. I just wanted to have you on there just in case I smacked the radar off. Thought it'd be kind of funny, but didn't hit the radar. Maybe next time. Check this out. Alright, so that's a stunner boat. It's exactly what I'm talking about. I just barely caught that. So on the front of that boat is a fiberglass rod with maybe, I'm going to say maybe 8 or 10, I didn't count them, 4-foot chains hanging off of it. And they lower that in the water, and 9 out of 10 times they got a Honda generator. It's always a Honda generator. I don't know why. Probably Harbor Freight stuff now. But they fire up the generator, and the top of the boat's a giant net. The net goes forward, the chains go in the water, and it electrifies the water. And the fish get spooked, they jump, they float to the surface, they get shocked, they jump out of the water, and they net them all up by the thousands of pounds. I don't think it's a commercial fishing operation. I think they're doing like a survey. You know, they do that a lot with these silverfish. But yeah, a lot of money trying to figure out ways to kill these things. I kind of like them. I really like them. I don't get it. Kill the mayflies. Leave the silverfish alone. Don't get it. All right, here they come. See if you can see it, get a better look at it. All right, there's a lot to see this morning. I've only gone 20 feet. All right, so this is a dry dock operation here. Smallest, tiniest. These are keychain dry docks, itty bitty things. So check this out. So if you got a 200 plus foot barge in a 20-foot dry dock, you can make it work. I've seen a lot of dry docks, but not one that tiny. I especially have never seen a barge that big in a little itty bitty tiny dry dock. But here's a towboat over here. I'm gonna swing wide so you can see it. So what they do there is, again, it's a little tiny dry dock. I guess if you got small boats, it's all you need. They sink the dry dock in the water, all right? And then they bring the boat in, and they pump the dry dock out, and it picks the boat up out of the water. That's how, and they get underneath there and work on it, out to the dry. Well, work on it or sit there on your phone like that guy's doing, one or the other. But again, it sinks underwater, pull the boat or barge in, pump the water out, raises it up. I've been on dry docks before. Well, I salvaged a gigantic one that was in Pearl Harbor, but I didn't know how big they were. Those ships that are 1,400 feet long, they have dry docks. So I don't know how long a dry dock is. It's got to be over 1,500 feet long, I would imagine. But I've been on dry docks waiting for crew boats to pick me up. And I look around, and I'm like, oh my God, this is a dry dock. This is as big as my entire neighborhood at my, where I used to live. But that's pretty cute, little tiny dry dock. But yeah, there's a couple guys on here that were on those jobs, that had those jobs. I worked for them. We salvaged in Mobile. Matter of fact, where I'm going, in Mobile, Alabama, it was a dry dock that was in Pearl Harbor, raising Navy ships. I forget the dimensions on it. My buddy can chime in. I'm sure he can take a picture. I know you got one of the blueprints. I want to see the specs again. But I remember it was so big and so huge, they had to roll it sideways and sink it sideways to get it through the Panama Canal, because it was too large, it wouldn't fit through the Panama Canal. And we had to cut those plates off underwater. They were, I think they were 6 or 8 inches thick, those reinforcement plates, to roll it over like that. But it's an interesting job. I'll get more in that when we get down there, but it's a pretty cool job. I even have pictures of that job I'll post as well. That's it. I just saw a little tiny dry dock, great big barge. Looked kind of funny to me, maybe chuckle. See you around. All right, so I was gonna drop a hook, do some fishing. I got this guy here on the radio, the Edmund L. And because I saw barges back up in that canal, and I said, hey buddy, I don't want to block this canal. trying to drop a hook. I got a 2.5 hour wait. Any suggestions? Guy goes, turn around. There's a dock up there. You just passed it. It's got a bar and grill. Great food. That's what I would do. It's like, outside. So the Swedish boat, he must have heard me on the radio. We all spun around. I guess we're going to go to the, I don't know, riverfront bar and grill, I guess. Dock the boat and get something to eat. This is a rough life. You know, you got to wait for a lock. Either A, you go take a nap, go fishing, or, you know, dock your boat at a waterfront restaurant. Rough. I don't know what I'm going to do the rest of the day. Maybe lay in a hammock all day. You never know. All right, so I almost forgot. Fuel mileage. I was at the restaurant last night. Look at the mile markers on the map. There's mile markers on the river, just like on the highway. So I know the mile marker I was anchored off at, and I know the mile marker I started at. Now, not including the hour and a half I motored from the fuel dock to get my mast removed, not including that, I had gone 170 miles. A little more than that, because there's times I turn around, like I'm doing now. I'm going, you know, 2-3 miles out of the way, turning around. But I had gone 170 river miles on right at 1/4 of a tank of fuel. That's not bad. I have to do the math on that. I think the specs say like a 720 mile range or something. But I'm gonna get a lot better fuel mileage when I hit the Mississippi. The current's gonna pick up really bad, and I'll be going down with the current. Just, it's gonna be hard to stop. You know, no way I can go in reverse. I'm gonna have to make sure I spin around, have room to spin around and floor it to stop. And but then I gotta turn in Cairo and go up the Ohio. So I'll be going against the current for a long time. Yeah, I just now figured out the other day all the local stations, channels on the radio. So all the locks are on 14. All the barge traffic and towboats are on 13. And then I have to monitor 16 as well. So it's a new radio to me. I just now figured out how to program it to scan all those. Just those and nothing else. So I just did that a minute ago. Okay, there's the restaurant. The Swedish boat in front of me is pulling into the dock. All right. I don't know. Rough life. But that didn't work out very well. So the lock master said 2.5 hour wait. So we turned around, went to the yacht club up here, got something to eat. It has not quite been 2 hours. And we called him on the radio. We had a handheld in there with us. And the lock master goes, I've been trying to reach you guys. Well, apparently we got no reception up there on the patio. And he goes, we got 2 more boats just showed up in line. So it's going to be in there 2.5 hours. So well, here we go. 5 hour wait. All right. So it's the morning of day 7, I think. I just made a little video, but it got too long, me ranting. So I'm going to try and make it quick. I got to leave here ASAP. My buddy boat, the Swedes, are wanting to go 50 some miles to some kind of tug restaurant thing. You tie up to the tug and you stay there. But everyone's going down there, so we're going to have to raft up and tie together to get. That's going to be my night tonight. Yeah. Despite all the air stuff going on, I got a power problem real fast. So I have a tremendous amount of solar panels and an absolute tremendous amount of batteries on this boat. And everything works amazing when I'm sailing. The higher the temperature on the charge controller, the less it charges. It throttles itself down. So real fast, the engine's on, everything's in the engine room. It's getting hotter and hotter and hotter and hotter. The walls are in the doors. They got thick insulation on them, and so the engine room is like 160 degrees all day. And I have fans on everything, and you know the whole 9 yards. But my charge controller is getting really hot. It's throttling down my power that I make. When I get to anchorage, so I make 50% less power throughout the day with the engine on than I do with the sails up, just because of the heat. I've noticed it right off the bat. My DC to DC auxiliary charger doesn't want to work at all ever, so that's out of the question. So I have to rely on solar only. When I get to my anchorage, the boat is about 90 degrees inside because of the engine running all day. I can't leave the boat open to cool off because it immediately just fills full of bugs. There's so many bugs out here. So I have to pull into my anchorage, run inside, close the boat up, and now it's almost 100 degrees inside the boat. No problem. I turn the AC on. It's battery powered. It runs, you know, whatever time, 16 hours or something before I turn it off to leave again. Works just fine. Gets the boat down to 68 degrees, nice and dry and cool, nice evening, and everything works just fine. But it eats up the battery juice. Well, I'm not making any battery, or I'm not putting the juice back in the battery as fast as I would if I was sailing. So, long story short, I'm going to have to run the generator today, especially today because it's raining today, so it's going to be overcast all day. But so yeah, it's eating me up, man, running the generator while I'm running the engine going down the river. Yeah, I don't want to move the charge controller. Someone's going to ask. I thought about putting it other places in the boat, but I was worried it's saltwater splash. You know, I'd open a hatch up to do something and salt water may get in there and destroy it. So I thought it would be more protected in the engine room. And everything works amazing. I have ventilation in the stringers. Everything works amazing. I have incredible power. I make so much power, it's not even funny. I'm fully charged at 10 o'clock in the morning on a normal day sailing, but even with all my instruments on. But with the engine going, just that little bit of heat really throttles things down. So, let me fire the generator up. I gotta go. I gotta pull anchor here. We gotta get on underway. I'm in 6 inches of water, by the way. Yeah, I anchored in here last night, and I'm in 6 inches of water, just outside the channel. This is a marked anchorage on the anchorage guide. It's gonna be nice to get into a proper river again with real water. You know, real 40-foot dredge depths. This is ridiculous. I'm lucky to see 5 feet in the channel. When I pass a tow, they're kicking up mud. They're just shooting mud up out from the back of them. This is very, very low water up here. All right, let me get to it. All right, I'm overtaking this tow. He's in a turn. We had to coordinate how we're going to do this. But that prop wash is no fun to get stuck in. Happens every day. I got the shallow alarms going off. This is the passing lane. This is the fast lane. All right, sun popped out. So I'm gonna keep the generator going. We're making good power now with the solar panels and the generator working together. We got a breeze now. We haven't had a breeze at all the whole time. It's been kind of muggy and dead out here. So the breeze is coming directly up the river. I opened the front hatch and I got a lot of wind going through the boat. A few hours ago, I went downstairs to check on things. I opened the engine room door and it was so hot in there because I'm running the generator and the engine now, and the charger and the inverter and the charge controller. All this stuff's running in there. It was so hot that the screen, the digital screen on my on my ATS, black. Half of it was black, like it melted. I couldn't see it. Oh no! So I just left the door open, propped it open, and the wind's going through the boat. And within a few moments, the screen became visible again. So it's really cooling off in there, and it got my charging amps up. I think I'm running. I'm trying to turn this river is just like a snake, just like this. I'm constantly going left and right and left and right and left and right, trying to stay in the middle of the channel here. What was I going to say? I'm charging about 135 amps, maybe 140 amps is what I'm charging at. And yeah, that's good. I'm going to bank that power in the batteries. And hopefully with this breeze, I'm going to shut the generator down before I get to the. I'm going to go to the tugboat company and tie off the tugboat company. I can get the boat a little cooler before I stop, and I don't burn that much power running the AC trying to cool the boat down tonight. The town up here is a couple hours away. I heard it was full of Mexican restaurants, and there's a gas station in town. So if I tie up to the tugboat company, I gotta dig my scooter out. I'm looking downstairs. I still gotta get the rest of the sails out. I got a bunch of stuff out already. I gotta get to that scooter. I gotta get it out. I'm gonna run to the gas station, do a fuel run out to the Mexican joint, get something to eat. And what else are they gonna do? Oh, they said they had water there. I don't know what I'm down. I don't know, 25 gallons tops. I haven't used a whole lot of water. I have a ton of pre-filters to make water. This water is awfully muddy. I really don't want to make water in this muddy water. I know I can, but I'm just going to clog the system up real fast. And I've been trying to research it, whether or not, how much material is going to pass through my final stage pre-filter. I don't want to destroy my membranes in my water maker because they cost hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars for new membranes, and I just put them in there. Pre-filters are, I don't know, $6 a piece, and I got 65. I have a box of 65 down there, so I have plenty of pre-filters, and they're washable as well. So hopefully they have water up here. I made water all the time in the Great Lakes because the water was clear. I'm going to make water in the Tennessee River, and I'm going to make water in the Ohio, and I'm going to make water in Kentucky Lake, things like that. But up here it's just too muddy, and it's not really flowing. There's no current, so it's kind of stagnant. And I see sewer outfalls everywhere, pumping sewage into the lake, and it's not going anywhere. It's kind of foamy in places, so I don't want to put that in my drinking water, or I don't want to make drinking water out of that. I know I can. I mean, the system I have will make it. It'll be perfect. It's it's a industrial reverse osmosis machine, desalination machine. So I just don't want to. I don't want to damage it. Is what I'm saying. But hopefully, the increased power input with the breeze cooling the boat down. Hopefully, everything works out tonight. Hopefully, when I wake up in the morning, I'm hoping I got, I don't know, at least 1,400 amp hours in reserve when I wake up tomorrow morning. That's kind of what I'm shooting for. But, I don't know. Long haul today. It's going to be over 50 miles. Let me look it up. That's a lot. Punching along here. As slow as I'm going, I don't want to go any. I can go a lot faster, but I don't want to. Here we go. I've gone 36 miles now. I think it's 50 miles. It might be in the 40s. It looks a lot closer on the map. I should be there in a couple of hours, what I'm saying. So, hopefully I get there in time to eat and get fuel. I wish I had a better camera. I've probably seen 8 to 10 eagles today, and 2 of them were just enormous, just monsters, but too far away to get a good picture. But I have a really nice camera at the house. I don't know why it's not with me, but I'll quit rambling. This is it. I'm just left, right, just zigzagging, trying to stay in this twisty, windy river, getting through here. It'd be nice to get to a proper river one day, and with good depth and good straightaways. That's that. Punching along. All right, it's hot. So I just docked. I rafted up next to the Swedish boat, which is then tied to a towboat, and I walked off looking for a water hose. Lady on the phone said they had water, and anyway, an Asian carp jumped on top of the towboat, and I jumped out there and jumped on it real fast and caught it, and I just filleted him up. I'm going to cut the red meat off the backside, and I'm just going to, make four fillets out of them and freeze them. And there's a strip of bones in here. I need to figure out how to. There's a video online to pull the bones out. But there you go. I'll post a picture of the carp. But I finally got Asian carp fillets. Finally. I'll let you know how it tastes. All right, I gotta run. Everyone is coming over here giving me maps of the Mexican joint, and I still gotta get the scooter out and do a fuel run. So I gotta go. But I filleted the fish. I cut the red meat off the blood vein. Blood veins here. There's all the blood vein in my little strainer. There's the fillets. I didn't know where my head piece was at, my head strap to film it. But this is the top of the fillet. That's the bottom of the fillet on each side, and the blood strips. Top, bottom, blood strip in the middle. There's a blood strip. I cut it out as normal. I don't feel any bones in here. I feel bones in here. I know the bad thing about these fish is they say they taste amazing, but there's a strip of bones in there. So I'm gonna find out, my first time eating one. I'll eat it tomorrow, you know, what's in the top piece. But I'm gonna go ahead and fillet the whole thing up. But there's the fish right there. Nice big thick chunks. And I gotta go.